aligned with Go Virginia's mission to support growth and create high-paying jobs through regional cooperation. Our Homeworks Talent Development Project is designed really to do just that. The proposed education facility will train a precision-built construction trades workforce, preparing our region for the future of manufacturing and meeting the workforce demands of modular construction. We believe in the future of Southwest Virginia. We believe that embracing innovative approaches is how we can solve the construction workforce dilemma. 3 items were listed as undetermined. However, we did provide responses to questions on November 17th that we received, with no additional follow-up questions received. So first, the regional cooperation we think has demonstrated through strong partnership with industry and education, which we have a few other folks who will comment on that today. We received 17, I think, letters that we put into the application, with more that came in after. Second, the project timeline we think is clear. In 2026, the instructional space will be fully designed. By January 2027, classrooms and labs will be ready. And by December 28th, we will be training across multiple cohorts. Third, there was a question about the sustained need, and we think it's undeniable. The Virginia Tech study that we referenced identified a need for 5,000 employees in modular technology jobs. And then just a couple weeks ago at the Governor's Housing Conference, we heard that Virginia needs 200,000 new homes. So meeting the demand of housing and also looking at a new and innovative way to do housing and other construction, we think will provide a really strong, reliable talent pipeline. We've committed already, so we purchased a warehouse. We have 30,000 square feet solely dedicated for the Homeworks program. And we had a kickoff meeting about workforce and modular construction, and 90 people showed up and attended that meeting. So we think there's excitement, engagement, momentum. And so we respectfully ask that this project not be deferred, but instead be given your favorable consideration. So we'd be honored to have Go Virginia as a partner in this work. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Madam
Chair, can I, Senator Pillion, this Delegate Kilgore, Senator Pillion's on the online, and he's got to get to another meeting. If it's possible, he was going to speak in public hearing. If we could call him out of order, is that possible?
Thank you, Delegate Kilgore. I think that we can, yes, yield the floor to Senator Pillion for his comments. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, yes, I actually have another case. Perfect, thank you. So I have another case to start, and I'd like to make comments real quick if that's possible. Referring to the same project that Mahana just spoke about, the Appalachian Highlands Housing Partners in association with the Russell County IDA. In my opinion, this is probably one of the most creative and collaborative projects that Go Virginia Region 1 has ever considered since its inception in 2017. It addresses critical regional issues and really statewide issues such as housing and lack of talent and skilled trades. If you've tried to find a plumber or an electrician lately, you probably can find a dentist easier than you can either one of those trades. So this project actually addresses that. It uses a vacant manufacturing site in Russell County. It leverages relationships with the community colleges and the K-12 school systems. It leverages relationships with existing manufacturers. It supports efforts of the Appalachian Highlands Housing Partners Land Trust Initiative to build affordable housing. This project also aligns perfectly with Region 1's growth and diversification plan, focusing on advanced manufacturing and talent development. And it has the required match in hand. It also leverages an additional $364,000. I would ask that this committee reconsider deferring this project and move it forward. I think it's an excellent model for addressing regional needs for housing and workforce development, and has a great manufacturing approach. Madam Chair, members of the committee, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Senator Pillion. We appreciate your feedback. Cody, we will go back to you to resume the public comment in order as received, as you stated at the beginning.
Yes, ma'am. And given that we have so many people who are going to provide live public comment, and we have a number of written, if those providing comment can limit their remarks to about 2 minutes, just so we can keep the meeting rolling, we really appreciate it. The next person on the list is Mr. Steve Jones.
Great, thanks, Cody. Hello, I'm Steve
Lisa.
Jones.
You tell them on the virtual.
Hi, I'm Steve Jones. I'm the Executive Vice President for VFP. We're an employee-owned manufacturer located in Duffield in Region 1, and I'm also the Vice
Ask Lisa
Chair
what they're gonna bring me.
for Go Virginia Region 1 Council. VFP provided a letter of support for the Homeworks Talent Development Project that Meanna Rice spoke about earlier. This project benefits the region in two ways, providing training for additional skilled labor for our region and providing precision-built homes at an affordable price. VFP recently announced a $35 million expansion and hiring 200 additional employees in Region 1. We would be a target employer for the skilled labor provided by this project. And I do know that for our over 400 current employees, affordable housing is something that they would certainly need. At a recent Go Virginia board retreat, there was a discussion that I was able to participate in. There was a discussion that Go Virginia provides regional collaboration and de-risking of projects. Homework meets both of those if you review that application. In addition, providing skilled labor and affordable housing is something Region 1 and I believe a lot of the Commonwealth have as high priority needs. I would ask the Go Virginia board to reconsider its deferment of this project. It's projects like this that keeps companies like VFP investing in the region. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. The next person that I have on the list is Mr. Adam Hutchison.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and board members. My name is Adam Hutchison, and I serve as the president of Virginia Highlands Community College, one of 3 public community colleges partnering with Appalachian Highlands Housing Partners on the Homeworks Talent Project. Collectively, our colleges serve approximately 10,000 students pursuing post-secondary skills, credentials, and degrees, including more than 2,000 dual enrollment students. I speak today to offer my unreserved support for the Homeworks Talent Project and to underscore the relationship among AHHP and the colleges. From its inception, AHHP has included higher education partners, and I personally have had the honor of participating in planning meetings and discussions to address the shortage of affordable housing in Southwest Virginia. This issue is very important to our institutions, not just for the quality of life in our region, but also because Virginia's community colleges are the state's primary agency for workforce training and post-secondary credentials, and we have a responsibility to prepare residents to fill high-wage jobs in the region. In its development of the Homeworks Talent Project, AHHP has made an extraordinary commitment, the provision of their facility as a training site in partnership with the colleges. They recognize that none of the 3 colleges have enough capacity in our facilities to appropriately train the needed workforce, so they have designated a portion of their production plant where college students, including dual enrolled high school students, can earn the industry recognized credentials en route to gainful employment at the plant. Collectively, our colleges will partner with the AHHP to develop shared curricula, deliver the training, assess the outcomes, maintain all educational records, and award credentials and college credit as appropriate. I respectfully ask the board reconsider the deferment of the Homeworks Talent Project, which the Go Virginia Region 1 board unanimously endorsed. As Senator Pillion mentioned, it aligns with our target industries. It includes an incredible array of public and private partners, and it addresses a vital need that impacts the quality of life in our region. Frankly, we've been planning together for months, and we are ready to get started. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. The next person we have is Mr. Keith Perigin.
Hello, Madam Chair, members of the board. As Cody said, I'm Keith Perigin, and I serve the residents of Washington County as superintendent of schools. I also previously served as a Go Virginia Region 1 board member, and I appreciate the impact that Go Virginia has had on our region already, and I look forward to the continuing the forward momentum that the proposed Homeworks Talent Development Project has already started. Our Career and Technical Education Center is already teaching many of the needed skills associated with home building. However, this project would further our students' learning opportunities and provide good paying jobs in the end that would help some of our most talented students stay in our region after they graduate high school. We are actually currently having conversations about how we can partner with other school divisions on the I-81 corridor to build, which that pun is intended, off the momentum this project has started and expand this model all over Southwest Virginia. I too respectfully ask that you not defer the project and vote for its approval today. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Looks like we have one left. I see Miss Jenny Nichols.
Yes, good afternoon, Madam Chair and esteemed state board members. My name is Jenny Nichols, and I've recently transitioned from serving as the program director for Go Virginia Region 1 to my new role as the registered apprenticeship coordinator for all of Southwest Virginia. But today I'm speaking in my capacity as a member of the Washington County School Board. As a board member, I'm deeply committed to ensuring our career and technical education students have access to opportunities that provide them with the skills, the certifications, and the designations needed to secure high-wage jobs. The skills they gain are transferable across many high-demand fields. And my why for a board member is education remains the key to upward mobility. The Homeworks Talent Development Project offers exactly this kind of hands-on experiential learning that will have a significant and lasting impact on our region. It would be a missed opportunity for Go Virginia to not partner with this initiative because projects like this are precisely why Go Virginia was created. I strongly urge you to vote to approve this project today rather than to defer. The students, families, and communities of Southwest Virginia are counting on us to seize this moment. Thank you so much.
Madam Chair, I don't see anybody else in the chat who seems to be here for public comment.
Okay. Anyone else wishing to speak, please indicate your desire to do so in the chat. And in the meantime, Cody, do we have written comments that were submitted in advance that we can speak to?
Yes, ma'am. We actually have a number here. So I'll need your patience. It's going to be a lot of me reading.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you. Please proceed.
Yes, thank you. The first is from Mr. Afnan Ali. Mr. Ali states that I think it's imperative for students to have literacy in AI similar to how they have computer and internet literacy. Learning some basics of how AI works beyond the "it's like a brain" metaphor and being aware of the different types of AI and their use cases will help students become natives of the technology that could be as revolutionary as computers in every industry. Students also need to be aware of the risks and dangers of AI and data privacy, similar to how we teach them about the internet. And that is the end of that comment. The next is from James Burrow. He's representing GT Edge AI, and he states, as a current college student and one who is working in the AI space, I can speak on behalf of the importance of AI education for our community's future. I had the privilege of leading AI workshops for Loudoun County Public Schools, and I have seen the difference it has made on students' ability to understand the technology and shifting their use of AI from cheating to self-learning and transforming their perspective of the current job market from difficult to full of opportunity. That's the end of his comment. The next is from Kimberly Frost, and Kimberly represents RFK Solutions Corporation. She writes, RFK Solutions Corporation profoundly supports the CyberBytes Foundation's AI mobile unit, bringing hands-on AI training on high school juniors and seniors. As cybersecurity and workforce leaders, we see the urgent need for ethical, data-driven, and practical AI skills. This initiative expands equitable access, prepares students for high-demand careers, and strengthens our nation's digital workforce through innovation, responsibility, and inclusion. That concludes her remarks. The next is from Mr. Daniel Mayer. Mr. Mayer also represents GT Edge AI. Mr. Mayer writes, I support this project as it brings real AI learning and job training to people who don't often have access to it. It helps students, teachers, and local businesses prepare for the future. I believe the AI mobile unit will be a positive impact for our workforce and long-term economic growth. That ends his comment. The next is from Sharok Usta Omar. from GT Edge AI. My involvement with GT Edge AI has helped me become more aware and engaged with AI on a practical, real-world level. It has allowed me to branch out and make new connections in a field that is constantly progressing and changing. I believe it is very important for youth to explore these opportunities and prepare for a future shaped by AI. That concludes his comments. The next comment is from Nancy Patillo, representing the CyberBytes Foundation. The AI Mobile Unit is a workforce program for students, not a teacher training model. The RFI focused on statewide educator professional development through virtual Canvas modules. Our application delivers regional hands-on AI training for students via mobile units. Because the audiences and goals differ, the AI mobile unit should be evaluated as a workforce initiative, not the same as the RFI teacher training by Virginia Department of Education. That concludes her comments. The next is from Daniel Shore. Daniel represents Strategies for Effective Teamwork, LLC. Daniel writes, as a cybersecurity industry professional, I know how quickly AI skills are becoming essential across every sector, yet lacking among many professionals. Students who understand how to use AI tools enter the workforce with a necessary advantage. The CyberBytes AI mobile unit is the kind of immediate initiative we need. Preparing the next generation with these skills isn't just beneficial, it's urgent. I strongly support this effort. The next comment is from Jeremy Shugart. Jeremy writes, our students need the opportunity to engage with AI as this is the world they are entering as a workforce. It is critical students are aware of what AI is/does and how to use it effectively and safely. Providing this option to students in a controlled setting is critical to their development and comfort in utilizing AI in the future. Please support this AI mobile unit as it will add a layer of support to schools that may lack some of the resources necessary to prepare students for the future. The next comment is from Arnold Webster. Arnold represents CRISP LLC. Arnold writes, industry must mandate and verify proper AI training. Modern sectors depend on AI-enabled content or AI-enabled talent. Students need foundational AI literacy to operate automated systems, analyze data, and apply ethical practices. Without certified AI skills, businesses face critical risks, immediate productivity gaps, escalating talent shortages, and reduced global competitiveness in the AI-driven economy. That concludes his comments. The next comment is from Adam Whalen. And Adam represents Animate Cyber. Adam writes, AI is now part of every strategic conversation I'm involved in, yet most organizations still don't understand what AI actually is, when to use it, or its limits. Students of today need this foundation early in order to not only compete in future job markets, but to also drive future innovation. The AI mobile unit gives them practical, responsible skills that employers urgently need. I strongly support this initiative. And there is one more. This last comment is a letter that staff received from, I believe it was 3 regional councils. And I will relay that letter. Dear Go Virginia State Board members, in response to the decision to take no further action on Recommendation 16 of the 2023 JLARC report, we, the undersigned Go Virginia regional representatives, respectfully request that the board reconsider revising the regional cap on planning grant funding. We recommend transitioning to a performance-based allocation that allows regions with a demonstrated record of success greater opportunity to advance high-impact activities as determined by each regional council. Currently, each region is limited to $250,000 per year, regardless of the total annual allocation, regional performance, or the unique needs and capacities of each region. This uniform cap constrains council's ability to respond to emerging opportunities aligned with our growth and diversification plans. As a result, regional councils have had to defer strong proposals until the next fiscal year, limiting opportunities to pursue timely planning activities. This delay has driven some applicants to skip valuable prerequisite activities, increasing project risk and reducing efficiency. Feasibility studies, pilot programs, and other early-stage activities provide invaluable groundwork to support focused, efficient implementation investments. However, the current program structure does not account for the varied pathways through which planning grants generate value. Go Virginia has funded planning grants which have not led directly to an implementation project, yet have demonstrated widespread impact, catalyzing future programs, collaborations, and community development. Others have led to multiple implementation projects both within and beyond Go Virginia funding. To better capture the impact, we recommend adopting procedures to track planning projects, follow-up activities, and impacts beyond closeout, and revise closeout reporting to include a direct response about the next steps and progress toward implementation. This information will provide a more comprehensive picture of these investments and their impact. Each Go Virginia region represents distinct assets, populations, geographies, and priorities reflected in a unique growth and diversification plan. Without consideration for any of these variables, nor the history of performance or utilization for each region, the blanket cap does not align with the spirit of regionalism that defines this program. We appreciate the board's consideration and your continued partnership in strengthening the Go Virginia program. Allowing greater regional autonomy and prioritizing projects based on council's assessment of merit and regional impact will ensure that each region can advance our shared mission of driving sustainable economic growth across the Commonwealth. Sincerely, and this letter comes to you from Dr. William Amos, the chair of Go Virginia Region 2, Mr. Paul Denham, the vice chair of Go Virginia Region 2, Ms. Lauren T.A. Willis, the Region 3 chair, and Mr. Samit Shivastrava, the Go Virginia Region 7 chair. Madam Chair, I have no other public comment to read to you at this time.
Okay, thank you, Cody. So can we confirm that there are no others in the chat who have indicated an interest in speaking?
Madam Chair, I can confirm that nobody else has stated in the chat that they would like to provide public comment.
Okay, thank you. And just as a housekeeping item, so I am assuming, but I wonder if there is a way to confirm if anybody noted as such on the AI related comments. I am believing that those are in connection with the joint Region 9 and Region 6 project, that's the one that is the subject of those comments, but I want to see if we can confirm that based on what was provided in those written comments.
Madam Chair, it's our assessment that those comments do pertain to the AI mobile lab application.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted that to be clear for the board. All right, well, appreciate that robust public comment period, and hearing that we have no others wishing to speak, we will close the public comment period. Thanks to all who shared your feedback there. We will move through to the consent agenda, which is the next item on our agenda, which includes the meeting minutes from the September 9th meeting of our board and the readoption of board policy number 2, which describes the policies and procedures for virtual meetings like the one we are holding today. So we are going to vote on these two items as a block unless any member would like to pull an item from that block and vote on it separately. If I don't hear any motions to that effect, do we have a motion to approve both of these as a block as presented?
So moved. This is Cliff.
Thank you, Cliff. Do we have a second?
Second.
And who was that? I apologize.
Brian Slater.
Thank you, Secretary Slater. All right. Any further discussion before we vote? All those, well, no, sorry, it's a roll call vote since we are virtual. Yes, so please conduct the roll call vote.
Yes, Madam Chair. Nancy Agee.
Agree.
Reggie Agarwal.
Agree.
Mr. Jim Chang.
Agree.
Secretary Cummings,
Agree.
Mr. Davenport,
Agree.
Mr. Dotson,
Agree.
Senator Deeds, Mr. Fleet,
Agree.
Mr. Fralin, Mr. Griffin,
Agree.
Mr. Johnson,
Agree.
Delegate Kilgore,
Agree.
Mr. King, Senator Lucas, Delegate Maldonado, Senator McDougal,
Agree.
Chair O'Quinn,
Aye.
Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
Mr. Creedum, Mr. Ransom, Speaker Scott,
Yes.
Secretary Sakura,
Yes.
Secretary Slater,
Aye.
Delegate Torian.
Agree.
Madam Chair, that motion passes.
Thank you.
Cody, it's John King. I'm sorry, I was on mute, but I was a yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. All right, so minutes and the board policy number 2 are approved. Thank you all. Next up on the agenda is the Deputy Director's report. And the first item for our consideration is the adoption of the updates to the 2025 Regional Economic Growth and Diversification Plans. And in your packets, you'll find some new overview documents for each of the regions that outline target industries and strategic priorities for each of the regions. And I think the Go Virginia team did a great job in putting these together. So Sarah, I will hand it over to you to please provide us some additional information on the plan updates as we consider these for approval.
Thank you very much. In your board packet, you're going to find a memo that speaks to the importance of the growth and diversification plans. The enabling legislation for Go Virginia requires that the regional councils review those growth and diversification plans every 2 years. And those plans, in effect, become a playbook and a bit of foreshadowing on projects that the regional councils would develop and consider. And further, the Go Virginia State Board would consider applications that go through the regional council process. We have provided 2-page summaries. These are high-level summaries, drawing attention to the targeted industries, which is a very important decision for the regional councils, as well as their strategic priorities. There's some additional content in those 2-page summaries. The full plans will be available on DHCD's website and, of course, each regional council's respective website. The matrix that you see in front of you is really just a composite, and we are really looking for relationships. We've made some notes here. We've also created some super categories, and they're on the left of the chart: manufacturing, knowledge work, logistics, agriculture, and energy. So let me just draw your attention to some industries that were removed from plans, which you see noted there. But I think what's very interesting is new. And so let's focus on the new. In the logistics and transportation segment, Region 3, which is Southside Virginia, has indicated that's an area where they feel they have a competitive advantage and some unique assets. And so that's included in their plan with this review period. With regards to agriculture and aquaculture, Region 8, which is the Shenandoah Valley, has added agriculture as a key focus area. Could you go back one more, Jack? Thanks. And then I also want to draw your attention to the topic of energy, because this was discussed at the Go Virginia State Board retreat, right? The importance of energy in Virginia's economy moving forward. Regions 1 and 5 have had a long tradition in focusing on energy generation, innovation, but you're going to see as well, Region 4 has added that to their target industry list. So we'll be working with the regional councils along with their staff. Thank you, Lisa. And the plans include more detail. So for the purpose of this chart with the one slide limitation, when you read the full plan, you maybe see some more nuanced subsectors. So for folks that are commenting about a mission, we were really trying to prepare a document for the board and its review today. It is the board's responsibility to approve these plans. Staff has reviewed all of the plans as submitted based on guidelines that have been developed and approved by the Go Virginia State Board. And we are recommending to the board that these plans be approved as submitted.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you to the entire team, all the regions for the work that goes into these growth and diversification plans. It's not easy to put these together and review them, so I do want to recognize that. Are there questions from board members about these documents before we entertain motions to approve them as a
Madam
block
Chair,
together?
Madam Chair, Terry Kilgore.
Yes, please.
I thought that under Region 1, I thought we still had agriculture and forestry on there. Did we remove it?
I will look to staff to confirm whether or not that was indeed removed
Yes.
from Region 1. Okay.
Thank you, Delegate Kilgore. So I'm just reviewing the summary that was prepared by staff. And again, that was based on a review. The target industries are logistics, advanced manufacturing, food and beverage manufacturing, and you might consider agriculture as a product input for food manufacturing. So that may be the nuance, sir, but we'll certainly review that to make sure it's accurately reflected here on the matrix.
Other questions of board members?
Yes, Madam Chair, something else that may be helpful to some of the new board members and our delegates is maybe in the future, you may want to list the regions. You have Region 1, Region 2, Region 3 up top there. And some folks may not know the impact of their area of removing and or adding some of the items there for their particular regions or other regions. So in the future, we may want to add, that's the Southwest Virginia region or something like that up under the regions you have listed at the top.
A geographic marker to help identify?
Or some type or regional name or something like Central Virginia or something like that, or Tidewater.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
And this Ben Davenport.
Yes,
on
Ben.
Region 3, I'm just surprised that forestry was removed.
Sarah, do you know if there's any thought process behind that edit to their plan? Forestry coming out of Region 3?
Then I'm reviewing the summary and they indicate a focus on agriculture, controlled environment agriculture. And so we may need to change this particular matrix, but it does appear on the summary plan that's in your packet. So it looks like we may have missed an opportunity there to reference controlled environment agriculture and agriculture specifically.
Okay.
I'll double check on the forestry intersection there if that's an area of emphasis. And my apologies to Region 3 if we missed that in our review.
Other comments or questions from board members? Okay, do we have a motion to approve these pending, of course, the confirmation of accuracy on some of these that were either added or removed?
So moved. This is Cliff.
Okay, Cliff, thank you. Is there a second?
Second, John King.
Second.
Thank you. I heard second from John King. Any other discussion before a vote? Okay, please conduct the roll call.
Nancy Agee.
Agree?
Reggie Agarwal.
Agreed.
Jim Chang.
Agree.
Secretary Cummings.
Agree.
Ben Davenport.
Agree.
Bill Dodson.
Agree.
Senator Deeds. Cliff Fleet.
Agree.
Haywood Freeland. Joel Griffin. Joel, did I hear you say agree?
Agree.
Kenneth Johnson,
Agree.
Delegate Kilgore,
Agree.
John King,
Agreed.
Senator Lucas, Delegate Maldonado.
Lucas, agree. Could you hear me?
Oh, yes, ma'am, I can't hear you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator McDougal,
Yes.
Emily O'Quinn,
Aye.
John Peterson,
Agreed.
Boad Creedum,
Agree.
Thomas Ransom,
Aye.
Speaker Scott,
Aye.
Secretary Segura,
Yes.
those yes. Secretary Slater,
Yes, agree.
Delegate Torian.
Agree.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That motion passes.
All right, thank you all. We have approved growth and diversification plans. I appreciate that. Moving through to the next item on our agenda, we will now take a look at the applications, which we have several. So, and of course, we heard some public comment in reference to a few of these. So, Sarah, I will hand it to you to give us an overview of what we're looking at today.
Absolutely. Jack, could you go one slide back for me there? I think we skipped just one. The other direction. Thank you. So I do want to just refresh the members on the funding priorities for the Go Virginia program. And this illustration is really to help everyone kind of understand the relationship between these funding strategies. And the ultimate goal here is to help the regions grow and diversify their economies by focusing attention on industries of opportunity, and what you see in center, imagine that saying advanced manufacturing or controlled environment agriculture or information technology. So the 4 funding priorities are kind of rotating there: sites and infrastructure, workforce development, cluster scale up, and a focus on developing the startup ecosystem and innovation. All of these projects should be designed to serve and support the industry that's in the center of this particular illustration. And so keep that in mind as we go through the board summaries. When we talk about the industry focus, that is important. And then we'll talk about the investment strategy, and that is what you see here, kind of the constellation. I want to talk to you too about the application review process. We recently completed.
Aisha, this is Mark. How you doing?
I'm all right today. How about you?
I think we've got
Alright.
someone who's not on mute here. Just one moment. I think it's you, Mr. Edelman. Thank you. The application process is illustrated here, okay? So the applications are really developed with the support of staff, always at the regional level. Applications that are approved at the regional level advance to DHCD. So I think it's important for the Go Virginia State Board to understand that all the applications that are being considered today have been reviewed and approved by their respective regional councils. After that, DHCD staff conducts a technical review of the application, ensuring that it adheres to any enabling legislation and requirements, board policy, and program guidelines that have been developed to implement the program. Following that, there's a work group review, and that involves state board members and subject matter experts that are matched to applications based on their areas of interest or subject matter expertise. The regional councils are invited to come and provide a presentation to those work groups. And following that process, if there are any additional questions, regions and applicants will be asked to respond to feedback. After that is received, staff prepares a recommendation based on the work group discussion and complement with that technical review. And then that's presented to the board for consideration. The board has asked to receive one of 3 recommendations after this process: to approve it, to defer it, which is simply a timing issue. And you can see here, a deferral means that application is firmly in line with Go Virginia priorities, but fails to sufficiently address all of the program requirements or the established evaluation criteria. I'm going to review those in just a second. Or to not approve the project or a denial. And Sarah, I can count on one hand the number of times that has happened, and really that's to the good efforts of the regional councils in their vetting. And I think the staff here at DHCD in providing technical assistance to make sure that quality projects that align with the program's intent are making their way through this process. And after the board decision, if the decision is to approve, the post-award process begins. DHCD initiates contracts with the grantees, who are the support organizations, and with the sub-grantee, who in our environment are the organizations that are actually going to implement these processes or these projects. Next slide. The board has selected 4 primary evaluation criteria, and we've provided a summary here. And for members or members of the public that have ever looked at a Go Virginia application, the application follows exactly this cadence. The first section speaks to economic impact, really looking at defined metrics or outcomes, which have been approved by the Go Virginia State Board. They vary based on the funding priority the application is pursuing, as well as a demonstration of economic impact. We do include a return on investment template. Again, if you've looked at a full application before, you've seen that, but that is just one way an applicant can demonstrate economic impact or benefit to the region. Regional collaboration is a second evaluation criteria. Looking for alignment with regional plans. The growth and diversification plan is one example of a plan, but keep in mind that each regional council has pursued other planning efforts, including Go Virginia grant, planning grant efforts, talent pathway planning grant efforts, as well as their regional entrepreneurship initiative planning effort. So those plans are considered. All Go Virginia projects require the participation of 2 or more localities. The review process looks for meaningful local participation, and we've established some guidelines on how that requirement can be met. It does not always have to be cash, and there is a waiver process for localities that cannot participate financially in a project, and the collaboration of other industry partners. Third is project readiness. And that is fairly important because a Go Virginia grant period is 24 months. Partner commitments being in place, match resources being in place, and relatable and executable milestones are also included in the application, and those are reviewed. And then finally, sustainability. Go Virginia positions itself as a early investor in these initiatives. And so it is important that each applicant be able to speak to the sustainability of the effort. How is this going to be supported after the grant period, but also to sustained demand for the outcomes being produced. So there's a couple of dimensions of sustainability that are considered. And obviously a clean and executable plan on sustainability, fiscal sustainability, and support for the effort. Next slide. We're going to review first per capita allocations. We did receive 9 applications this cycle. 8 there are 5 applications for implementation. There are 4 that are pursuing access to the Virginia Competitive Fund. 1 of those is a planning grant, and 3 of those are implementation projects. I would like to thank at this time members who participated in the work groups, and that includes Senator Cray Deeds, Nancy Agee, John King, Kenneth Johnson, Jim Chang, John Peterson, Bill Dotson, Haywood Fralin, Emily O'Quinn, Thomas Ransom, and Joel Griffin. We also had a number of subject matter experts. Scott Denny, who's a senior program manager for advanced air mobility at the Virginia Department of Aviation, Conaway Haskins with the Virginia Innovation Partnership Corporation, Wendy Kang, who's with the Virginia Office of Education Economics at VEDP, Emily Bohm, Director of Software and Cybersecurity at VEDP, Anya Upadhyay, Data Analyst at VEDP, Randy Grumbine, Executive Director at the Virginia Manufactured and Modular Housing Association, Chris McNamara, Strategic Housing Officer at Virginia Housing, Thomas Osha, Executive Vice President at Wexford Science, and Kimberly Wright, Chief Teammate and Officer at Truist. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. There are 5 proposals to take action on in this category. Region 2, Project RISE. This project applicant is the Virginia Tech Corporate Research Center. The industries of target are information and emerging technologies, aerospace and autonomous systems, and advanced manufacturing. The investment strategy is startup ecosystem, and you can see the participating localities listed here. The goal of this project is to support existing businesses, high growth potential startups, and as a result, increase job creation and boost innovative activity, including patents for university-based ventures in the Roanoke and New River Valley. They would like to do 3 primary things: deploy technical commercialization assistance to move promising technologies and business ideas to market, establish an entrepreneurial mentorship and development hub, and provide access to on-call experts in AI, digital, and cloud-based tool usage to support entrepreneurs. Ultimately, this project is designed to build a stronger startup ecosystem in Region 2. The Go Virginia request is $648,000. You can see the total project budget. Go Virginia funds will be used to provide direct services to businesses, as well as training and outreach. The products or results will be a mentorship and development hub, the AI, digital, and cloud-based tools that I mentioned, and the outcomes as listed. This project is recommended for approval. The next slide, and for folks that have their board packet, this is on page 39, if you'd like to review the board summaries in more detail. Appalachian Highlands Housing Partnership is the applicant. The strategy is workforce development, and the target industry has been identified as advanced manufacturing, specifically modular manufactured housing or off-site construction or factory-built homes. The goal here is to develop a regional training center that will significantly advance the growth of the advanced manufacturing sector, specifically as it relates to modular construction. They would like to develop a 30,000 square foot facility, which would be adjacent to a production facility that is in development, to train workers with a number of skills in partnership with community colleges and local school divisions. This initiative will introduce a new credential offering, NCCER Modular Housing, which is currently unavailable in Southwest Virginia, and based on my research, not available anywhere else in Virginia. There was a fair amount of discussion at the work group on the dual enrollment activities, which were not cleanly defined in the application, and some concerns about sustained industry demand. The primary consumer, if you will, of the trained workers will be the production facility, which has not yet been developed. And I think that there were some comments about ensuring that students graduating from the training center had long-term and a variety of different types of employment opportunities. And so it was a question of sequencing. There's also some questions about multiple funding sources, and the funding partners are very interested in working to ensure that the full capital stack is available, not just for the workforce training facility, but also the production facility, which would be dependent on it. So this is really a timing issue based on the work group discussion, and this project is recommended for deferral.
And Madam Chair, Terry Kilgore,
Yes, Delegate Kilgore.
what do we, when do we make a motion if we wanted us to go ahead and approve, if we wanted Go Virginia Board to go ahead and approve that? When would a motion be appropriate on that? At the end, or?
I think what we'd like to do is go ahead and present the block of projects. And then at that point, we can entertain a motion to remove something from the block for any action that would be different than what staff is recommending. Or for any other reason, if we wanted to pull something out of the block. So yeah, let's proceed through, and then we'll entertain questions and motions of that sort after Sarah gets through all these projects, if that's all right. Okay, Sarah, please proceed.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely put a pin in that one. The next application is Region 3, Danville Aviation Training Facility. The industry of focus is transportation and logistics. The city of Danville is the applicant. The goal here is to create a workforce training center that will benefit multiple partners, including the community colleges and Averett University. There is strong demand for workers with these skills, and they will be working on aviation technician training program and construct a 13,244 square foot facility to support it. The request of $92,000 will be primarily to provide IT data and infrastructure support. And the participating localities are listed here. The outcomes are strong during the grant period, and obviously the applicants expect to continue to produce workers with these skills beyond the grant performance period. Staff is recommending this project for approval. The next project is Region 9, and that is the Greater Charlottesville area. Thank you, Secretary Slater. The advanced manufacture, this project is expanding GoTech career pathways in Region 9. Advanced manufacturing, IT, logistics, and bioscience are the industry focus. Albemarle County Public Schools is applying on behalf of a coalition of school divisions, which are listed here. In Greene County, the city of Charlottesville are included. They would like to expand the pool of qualified workers by increasing career exploration opportunities aligned with the industry targets in Go Virginia Region 9. Go Virginia funds will be used to support the creation of career connection labs. Go Virginia has been fairly involved in GoTech, its development and expansion, and this would be the first GoTech career lab expansion in Region 9. This was a very robust conversation. Region 9 has, I think, put a lot of thought into the full talent pathway. So what are the connected educational opportunities for middle school students that may get exposure at this level? And there was a fair amount of strong industry support as well. I would like to just introduce to the group here that there is a biotechnology module, which will also be implemented, and that would certainly directly support the growing demand for workers in advanced pharmaceutical manufacturing, for example, which is based on recent announcements, a fairly important growing high demand area. The request is for $1 million, $16,000. The match is there. The local match is there. Staff is recommending approval of this project. The next project is from Region 5, the Hampton Roads Mobility Innovation Center. Newport News Economic Development Authority is the applicant. Hampton Roads has been focused intently on uncrewed systems and aerospace, and that is the focus for this project. The goal here is to two-part, expand the pool of qualified workers in unmanned systems in Region 5. That stated goal is based on the outcomes that are described here. They'd like to do this through two activities as defined in the project. One is infrastructure development, and that is really where all of the Go Virginia request of $3 million would be applied. And that would be to establish an FAA compliant UAS unmanned aerial system mobility test range adjacent to the Newport News Williamsburg Airport in the same airspace, but at a radio control club site that's been identified about 2 miles from the airport proper. They would like to deploy a portable and fixed counter unmanned aerial systems for real-time threat detection and mitigation. And this is a high growth area and would obviously respond to some planning grant activity that Region 5 has been involved in as well. On the workforce development side, they're proposing to expand certified training programs as well as provide job placement, apprenticeship, career pathways. You can see the requests, the matching funds, and the outcomes. The project includes a wide variety of equipment purchases and infrastructure improvements. However, it's not clear how these investments would be contributing to the outcomes as described. Some of the educational partners have committed match to the project, but in terms of the delivery of the trained workers, the tracking and recording of the workers, and how those individuals being trained might use this new test site asset, we believe there's an opportunity to strengthen this application through further discussion. And for that purpose, we're recommending that this be deferred. The next series of applications are competitive grant applications. And if you remember, the fund is divided into two portions. The per capita allocation that's distributed to the regions on the basis of population, and another pool which is awarded competitively. These projects are scored using an established scoring rubric, and there are 4 project proposals to take action on. 7 out of the 9 regions participated in 1 or more collaborative projects. So this is exciting to see this level of collaboration for sure. Industry targets include advanced manufacturing, life sciences, professional business services, IT. There are a couple of project types in this stack. One of those is cluster scale up. There are 2 workforce development projects and 1 entrepreneurship and innovation project. Next slide. The first one I'd like to talk to you about is a planning grant from Regions 3 and 2. This project's entitled Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor Vision 2050, and the industries are listed there. The participating localities, and there's very broad regional support for this particular project, include Franklin, Botetourt, Montgomery, Henry, the city of Martinsville, city of Danville, Pennsylvania. What they'd like to do is develop a playbook to guide the development of the Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor, which spatially would connect Region 2 with Region 3, roughly via the 220 corridor from Roanoke moving into Danville. There are anchor institutions on each end of this corridor, Virginia Tech on one end, the Advanced Institute for Learning and Research on the other. There are a number of products, and they're listed there. So with this $250,000 multi-region planning grant request, they would like to explore and develop specific strategies for each of the named industries. Develop an infrastructure investment strategy, a connectivity strategy, and also establish a governance model, and I would say a model for implementation. The match is there, including $25,000 in local match. There was a lot of work group discussion, and there's a fair amount of work that's already moved forward. There was a strong case for non-duplicity because we wanted to make sure that this work was not already conducted in regions 2 or 3 independently, and a commitment on behalf of the applicant to make sure that other plans and activities were incorporated into the development of this mega region strategy. Staff is recommending this one for approval. The next project is a Region 3 Industrial Skilled Trades. Regions can access the competitive fund in two ways. They can go it alone, which means if they fully obligated their per capita allocation, they can access the statewide competitive fund. And this is the case in Region 3. Patrick and Henry Community College is the applicant, and they're focused on advanced manufacturing, hence the industrial skilled trades named to this project. You can see the level of regional collaboration. Charlotte, Lunenburg, Patrick, City of Danville, City of Martinsville, and an organization called SVRA, which is the Regional Economic Development Organization, on behalf of their member localities. The goal here is to expand the pool of qualified workers in the industrial skilled trade professions. What they're proposing is fairly exciting in my opinion, because first it involves all three community colleges in Southside Virginia, and a shared commitment to increase the number of workers with skills and credentials in this area, and to a degree standardize that across the ecosystem, the workforce development ecosystem, if you will. They're going to be using Go Virginia resources to acquire industry standard training equipment, to ensure alignment of curricula with a national credentialing framework, including the National Center for Construction Education and Research and the National Coalition of Certified Centers and an accrediting agency called Greenlee. They would also like to launch a mobile training unit to serve rural and underserved areas. Go Virginia requests would be primarily to equip that mobile unit, and also to meet additional dual enrollment demand, and provide work-based learning opportunities for the students that are participating. They are also going to be providing and offering this training to individuals who may be incarcerated, and they already have agreements with some of the correctional institutions to ensure access to those students, and provide training prior to their release. The request is $1.3 million. The total project budget is listed. The Go Virginia funds are going to be used for the things that I just mentioned. We've got some match contributions and participation from the local workforce board, which again is a regional organization. And this is another opportunity for alignment. They will have fully equipped labs at all three community colleges when complete, the mobile training unit, which I've described to you, and we're recommending this project for approval. The next project is a two-region project, Region 6, which is Fredericksburg, Middle Peninsula, and the Northern Neck, just to give some folks some geography, and Region 9, which is Charlottesville, Greater Charlottesville region. The project is called the AI Mobile Unit for Workforce and Education, and they're focused on professional business services, IT, and emerging technology. The applicant is the CyberBytes Foundation, and you can see a list of the participating localities: Fauquier, Nelson, Orange, Rappahannock, Spotsylvania, Stafford. What they would like to do is use this mobile unit as a vehicle, no pun intended, to bring training to these school divisions in artificial intelligence. And they're proposing to introduce a couple of CompTIA certifications through 4 to 5 hour workshops conducted at the schools. And they'd also target other individuals who would benefit from this training. The CompTIA certifications offered are 2 CompTIA AI Essentials and CompTIA AI Prompting. There'd be up to 80 mobile workshops offered during the grant performance period, and those would be offered across the named school divisions, workforce centers, and also would provide access to rural communities. They're requesting $1.3 million. Matching funds of $665. There is a partial local match waiver being requested for folks that may remember. There is a requirement that 20% of the total match requirement be contributed by localities, and so they're requesting a waiver of $92,000 of that requirement. In terms of outcomes, 2,080 people trained, including 80 teachers. 280 credentials awarded, which includes the 80 teachers served, and the new program implementation. There was a fair amount of conversation at the work group, and there were questions about the modality of the training and education. The importance of the mobile unit, I think, was one that wanted further exploration. Another one was the sustainability strategy based on the use of Go Virginia funds. There was a concern that the school divisions requesting this support from the Cyber Bytes Foundation may not be able to continue offering this type of training to their students. And again, Go Virginia funds are meant to kind of initiate new efforts, and sustainability was a question. Also noted in the board summary, we did have the Virginia Office of Education and Economics on the review committee. We asked them to look for signals in the marketplace, employer demand for these two specific credentials. And we acknowledge it's early days for credentialing in artificial intelligence, meaning employers saying we want people with these credentials. But there was no evidence that these credentials have yet been broadly adopted by employers. So we'd like an opportunity to explore in more detail the competencies and their relevance in the workplace. And then finally, we do know that VDOE has issued an RFI to support the design of a statewide AI literacy program. Now, I think we all acknowledge that, and the work group discussed, we appreciate and applaud regions that want to lead in these areas because we all know the AI space, it's changing so quickly. But we believe we'll get some clarity around any DOE requirements just to make sure that they're not running at cross purposes. And we think that the 90 days before now and the March board meeting would be adequate to help the applicant and the school divisions that are participating kind of consider some of that. We're recommending this project for deferral. And then finally, we've got the Small Business Opportunity Center expansion. The applicant is VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University. We have 4 regions participating on this project. Region 4 is the lead. Regions 5, 6, and 7 are also participating. You can see the participating localities by name and the nature of their participation. The goal here is to expand entrepreneurship activity among under-resourced populations in the aforementioned sectors. The outcomes, and again, these will be achieved during the grant performance period: 230 jobs created, 165 businesses expanded, new businesses created, businesses served, and $80,000 in funds raised by businesses served. They would like to develop a series of educational programs and advisory programs for small businesses, including a traded sector business commercialization boot camp with industry-specific training programs. They would also like to develop, and has been noted as a deficiency, a business license navigator, specifically for local business licensing requirements, and an intra-regional business resource directory of organizations that could provide services to entrepreneurs in these areas. The request is $1.2 million. The total match is $613,000. I would like to just note that VCU has completed a number of grants, 2 planning grants with Go Virginia successfully. One of those was focused on pharmaceutical and chemical engineering, and the other on workforce development and technology. This project describes itself as a continuation of some work started at Virginia State University, and as a model, that project performed very well, exceeding its committed outcomes over the project period. And one of the principals involved in this project was similarly involved in the other project. And I know board members have asked us to just provide a bit of an overview on past performance if we do have a repeat applicant. You'll notice that in the board summary, so I apologize if I haven't read it verbatim as we've moved along here. The work group discussion really focused on the value of utilizing trusted partners in each of the regions. So it's a hub and spoke model. I mentioned already past success in smaller Go Virginia projects. And through this network approach, the potential to reach under-resourced entrepreneurs that have been historically underserved. Based on the application review, the work group discussion, and responses to the feedback loop questions, we're recommending approval for this project.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. That's a lot to get through. We've got 9
was a
projects
lot.
here for our consideration. So I would open it up to board members if you have questions for Sarah about these projects, or if we'd like to entertain motions to potentially pull something out of the block or a vote on the block if we so choose. So open it up to the board for feedback.
All right,
Madam Chair, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Hey, Terry. I was just going to say, Haywood Fralin and I need to recuse ourselves from that Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor planning grant for regions 3 and 2, and so we need to pull that one out.
Okay, thank you, Ben. We will pull out the Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor project to vote on that one separately. I appreciate that.
And Madam Chair, I would like to pull out, this is Terry Kilgore, I would like to pull out the Region 1 housing application to vote separately.
Okay, we will also remove the Homeworks Region 1 per capita application to vote on that one separately. Other board member feedback, questions, concerns? If not, we can entertain a motion to approve the remaining 7 projects as per staff recommendation. So we would act in a, yes,
Scott, I
yes,
so
Mr.
moved.
Speaker.
Yeah, I want to thank you all for the work that you do and all of the board members that looked at all of this stuff. Thank y'all for sparing us all of the time that you have given just giving us the highlights and all of this. So I really appreciate it. And with that, I'd like a motion to approve these applications in block. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And
So the
Emily,
motion is, yes,
I
ma'am,
just
Sarah.
want, just for clarity, I apologize to accept the recommendations of
Correct.
staff because there were still a few in this stack which were recommended for deferral. So I want to make sure the motion reflects that. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I do
sorry.
wanna-
To accept the recommendations of staff. I apologize. Yeah.
Perfect,
As
Mr. Speaker,
presented.
thank you.
And I
as
second
presented.
that.
With the also with and with those 2 that were pulled out as well. Thank you.
Yes. So for the 7, we have a motion to act in accordance with staff recommendation. And do I hear a second for that motion?
Second, this is Nancy, second.
Okay, thank you, Nancy Agee, for that second. Any further discussion on these 7 projects before we go to the roll call vote? Hearing none. Oh, yes,
this
please.
is Reggie. Just one comment. I'm approving. I think this is great. Just one thing that I think would be good from a framework is we see kind of consistently the same thing, like this many people are being trained. This is how many jobs are being created. When let's say we're approving something like a $2 or $3 million grant, what I would normally see from a corporate view is that when you put the 5 or 6 benefits, you would kind of ascribe to the money, the 3 million, let's say, when you say we're going to train 150 people, how much do they ascribe to each, especially when it's larger dollars? When it's a smaller grant, it doesn't matter as much. And then the other thing I would just say is, because it would be nice to get a framework that says, hey, when we train somebody, we usually see it the value or the cost between $900 and $2,500 a person. So if someone says $4,000 is being attributed, you have a kind of a benchmark to say, okay, it's 4,000. What's the difference? And they might have it differently. So that was just the one thing, but just kind of having that framework, because I noticed that the same outcomes, and then you map them to the request. Just trying to understand what of that request is going towards each of those outcomes when it's larger. That's the only clarification for the future. But that's it. Thank you.
No, really appreciate the feedback. We are certainly looking at ways that we can enhance this process and provide the data to the board members in a way that is both digestible and useful in decision making. So certainly appreciate those comments. Okay,
And
we have
Reggie,
a motion.
Reggie, we have talked about that in the past too.
Yes, Ken, you're right. We have.
Yeah. We talked about it and we found that some of the regions, all the regions aren't equal to one another. However, this was something that staff was looking into. I'm not sure how we landed on that. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I did want him to know that we looked into this stuff.
Yes, it is an ongoing question of how we can best present the information, and I think Sarah and team have indeed looked into that and will continue to do so. Okay, motion properly seconded to go in accordance with the staff recommendations on these 7 projects. Any other board member commentary before we go to the roll call vote? Hearing none, Cody, can you please take the vote for us?
Yes, ma'am. Nancy Agee.
Sorry, my technology difficulty. Yes, agree.
Reggie Aggarwal.
Agree.
Jim Chang.
Aye.
Secretary Cummings. Ben Davenport.
Yeah, I agree.
Bill Dotson.
Agree.
Senator Deeds. Cliff Fleet.
Agree.
Haywood Fralin. Haywood, I'm not getting any audio from you. Can you give me a thumbs up if you're agreeing? There we go. Okay. As long as the board is okay, I'm going to take that as an aye. Joel Griffin.
Aye. Agree.
Thank you. Kenneth Johnson.
Agree.
Delegate Kilgore.
Aye.
John King.
Agree.
Senator Lucas.
Definitely an aye.
Delegate Maldonado. Senator McDougal.
Aye.
Ms. O'Quinn.
Aye.
John Peterson.
Aye.
Boad Creedum.
Aye.
Thomas Ransom.
Aye.
Speaker Scott.
Aye.
Secretary Segura. Secretary Slater. Delegate Torian.
Aye.
Okay, Madam Chair, that motion passes.
Right, thank you all. And so we've taken action on the 7. Let's now take up a motion on the Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor project. And Ben, I understand that you and Haywood would like to abstain from that. Is there any further discussion from the board about this project? And if not, the staff recommendation is for approval. So I will entertain a motion to approve that from anyone wishing to make it.
So moved.
I'll-
This is Cliff.
Second,
Cliff?
Terry. Second, Terry.
All right, Cliff makes that motion, Terry seconds. Any further discussion on the Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor?
Can delegate, okay, we're doing them both separately? Okay, sorry.
Yes. Yeah, this is just for the one project from
Sorry.
regions 3 and 2.
Madam Chair, would you like me to proceed with the roll call?
Yes, I just want to make sure there's no other comment here. So the motion is to approve the project, the Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor, in accordance with staff recommendation. Motion properly seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, yes, Cody, over to you for the roll call.
Let's see. Nancy Agee.
I may need to abstain because my organization is one of the sponsors of this. I would approve it otherwise, but I think I should abstain.
Yes, ma'am. Reggie Aggarwal.
Approved.
Jim Chang.
Aye.
Secretary Cummings. Ben Davenport. Okay. Bill Dotson.
Aye.
Cray Deeds. Senator Deeds. Cliff Fleet,
Aye.
Haywood Fralin,
I believe
Joel
Mr. Fralin is abstaining as well as Mr. Davenport. I just want to make sure we get that correctly recorded. Was that
Yep.
your intention, Ben, is to abstain from the vote?
Yes, that's what I said. Maybe that didn't come.
Thank you. I wanted to make sure we didn't get a vote recorded. Thank you.
Right.
Joel Griffin.
Aye.
Kenneth Johnson.
Agreed.
Delegate Kilgore.
Aye.
John King.
Agree.
Senator Lucas.
Aye.
Delegate Maldonado. Senator McDougal.
Aye.
Emily O'Quinn.
Aye.
John Peterson.
Aye.
Boad Creedham.
Aye.
Thomas Ransom.
Aye.
Speaker Scott.
Aye.
Secretary Segura. Secretary Slater. Delegate Torian.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that motion passes.
Okay, thank you. So that project is approved, and we will now move to the remaining project, which is the Region 1 Homeworks Initiative. That is a per capita application. And Delegate Kilgore, since you requested to remove that from the block, do you have a motion you'd like to make?
I'll make a motion that we approve. Instead of deferring, I would make a motion that we approve. I know staff worked hard on this, but it looks like we met all the criteria. It's going to create jobs. It's going to train workers. It's going to create housing opportunities. I think this is something that we really need to be investing in. We got a lot of buy-in from all over the region, and it looks like we don't want to slow it down. Don't want to stand in the way of it. So I was just going to make a motion we approve it instead of deferring it.
Okay. Motion to approve. Do we have a second for that motion?
Second. From Chang.
All right. Who was that?
Chang. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Jim Chang. Okay, so open it up for discussion amongst the board or other questions of staff about this Region 1 project before we vote on the motion to approve it. Hearing none, Cody, over to you for the roll call to approve this project.
Yes, ma'am. Nancy Agee.
Agree, approve.
Thank you. Reggie Agrawal.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. So the staff recommendation is to defer. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes.
So I'm going to abstain. I don't know enough information.
Okay.
Jim Chang.
Approve. Agree.
Secretary Cummings. Ben Davenport.
I agree.
Bill Dodson.
I agree.
Senator Deeds. Cliff Fleet.
Agree.
Haywood Fralin. That was a yes, Haywood? Yes, okay. Joel Griffin.
Agree.
Kenneth Johnson.
Aye.
Delegate Kilgore.
Aye.
John King.
Agree.
Senator Lucas.
Aye.
Delegate Maldonado. Senator McDougal.
Aye.
Emily O'Quinn.
Aye.
John Peterson.
Aye.
Boad Creedham.
Aye.
Thomas Ransom.
Aye.
Mr. Ransom. Speaker Scott.
Nay.
Why would Scott say no?
I'm sorry, your
Um,
audio is on. If there's members of the public who are observing the meeting, you might want to put yourselves on mute.
Secretary Segura. Secretary Slater. Delegate Torian.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that motion passes.
All right, thank you all. So that concludes the action on the applications for this quarter. I just want to say thank you to everybody that goes above and beyond to try to work through these. There's a lot of information included, from the applicants to DHCD staff, Go Virginia staff, board members participating in the work groups. That's all really important. And of course, the conversation that we've had today, I just appreciate it. And want to make sure that we have a good link between the regional council work that's happening and the state level analysis that we see. So from a board perspective, one of the things that I'd like to make sure we do is just ensure consistency in the process and have strong communication so everybody's on the same page. And what makes a successful project and the markers of that. So I think, Sarah, if you would not mind to maybe set up a time to talk amongst you, whoever you think is appropriate on your staff, and the Go Virginia program directors, so that we can just, strengthen that feedback, make sure that everybody's on the same page. And if there's a way that we can improve the time frame between regional council approval of a project and when the state board sees it, maybe, thinking about ways to enhance that process. I think that would be an important piece of the puzzle, so that everybody feels like they're on the same page with where things are going. So are you open to doing that?
Oh, absolutely. Yep, we would welcome that opportunity. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Because, we're all on the same Go Virginia team and certainly working towards the same goal of deploying resources towards important work that strengthens the Commonwealth and our regions individually. So if there's ways that we can do things better, certainly we should look at those. So, all right. Well, thanks again to everybody on the applications. The next portion of the agenda is for our committee reports. And so the next item is governance and policy, and our new chair of that committee, recently appointed as Chair Cliff Fleet. So over to you to give that report, sir.
Thank you very much. And it's an honor to chair a committee that has not yet had the privilege of meeting since the last meeting, although we have a meeting scheduled for early next week. So those materials will be going out subsequent to this one. So anyone who would be interested in attending, it's going to be on December 15th at 10:30, and this will be an in-person meeting in Richmond, although we will broadcast it for members of the public who want to participate in that manner. So hopefully at the next meeting, after we meet, I will have a much more fulsome report on the activities of the committee. So we're just putting together the agenda and the materials right now. So thank you.
Okay. Very good. I appreciate that and look forward to that meeting on the 15th. All right, next on the agenda is the Regional Councils Committee report. And for that, I will turn to John King, who chairs that committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our committee met on October 22nd. We began with a review of the planning grant analysis, which informed the recent technical amendments to board policies number 3 and number 9. These updates clarify that site planning projects will no longer count toward a region's annual planning allocation. Following these amendments, DHCD released revised planning grant guidance that further defines allowable activities, aligns evaluation criteria, and reinforces that planning grants should help to build regional capacity and support the development of future projects. We also discussed that planning efforts may position projects for other funding opportunities, or in some cases determine that an idea is not viable. The updated guidelines explicitly acknowledge these outcomes, and DHCD counted those projects as successful results in its planning grant analysis earlier this year. Given these updates and the clarity they provide, the committee is not recommending any changes to the current planning grant cap at this time. We will continue working with the regions to strengthen early stage project development while the Governance and Policy Committee works on making a formal recommendation to the board. We then reviewed this year's Regional Council certification requirements, focusing on membership and governance. The committee also received an update on regional fund allocation, regional fund utilization, emphasizing the importance of deploying allocated dollars strategically in each region. We discussed progress on the new Regional Council self-assessment. The Regional Council advisory members provided thoughtful feedback on the survey format and how best to ensure the assessment accurately captures engagement levels and operational needs. Our final agenda item was a presentation on best practices for growth and diversification plans. Region 9 support organization shared insights into effective plan design. Committee members discussed how regions can apply these practices as plans continue to evolve. Overall, it was a productive meeting. We appreciate the strong engagement from regional leaders. We look forward to continuing this work and bringing forward updates as they develop. Before I close, I want to share a brief invitation, brief but important. We are seeking board members to serve on the Regional Council Committee. So if you're interested in serving on that committee, please reach out to DHCD staff, or you can reach out to me, and we'd love to have you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, John. And yes, any interested parties, please do reach out. That's a really important committee doing good work. So welcome any who are interested there. All right, our next item on the agenda is the Program Performance and Evaluation Committee report, and that is coming from the chair of the committee, Jim Chang. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, turns out the Program Performance and Evaluation Committee didn't meet in the months since our last board meeting. However, we are taking steps to plan for a virtual meeting of the committee in January. And like co-chair John, we'd like to invite any member of the board who's interested in serving on this committee, we're going to fight over this, to reach out to me to volunteer. So we're all looking for your help. Thanks.
Regional Council's better though. Jim would defer.
Oh no, we've got pride here going on. And Cliff, would you like to also put out a call for the Governance and Policy Committee to seek new members too?
No, we're by invitation only. It's a very special one.
Well played. All right. Oh my goodness. I like a little healthy competition among the committee chairs. That's good. All right. Moving on to the last agenda item today, that would be information items. So Sarah, can you please share those with us? I think you're on mute, Sarah.
Oops, hold on just 1 second. I'm like, give me 1 minute here. I want to apologize, Emily, because I put my slides for the annual report highlights out of order in the slide deck. So we've got a few minutes. Would you indulge me and allow me to go back to item 3D, which are annual report highlights? Because I do think there's some information there that would be of interest to the state board.
Yes, I think that falls squarely under information. So I will indulge.
Thank you. Jack, would you mind rolling back to that slide? Thank you. Up a few more. You've got it. Okay. This is just a bit of a year in review. And as you know, the Go Virginia State Board is required to submit an annual report that has not yet been submitted. But there is publicly available information. I think it's always a good time to kind of stop and reflect on the work that this board accomplished over the past year. And it has been significant, in my opinion. We are going to talk a little bit about the key interim activities, remind members, old and new, of the critical actions that they took and inspiration that they gave us as we move forward and work to advance this work. I'm going to provide you with a grant year summary of the fiscal year 25 investments. And of course, our fiscal year ends June 30th. We're also going to share with you the results of the FY 25 completed projects and talk a little bit about Go Virginia's program impact since inception. And I appreciate the comments and recommendations both from Mr. Agarwal and Mr. Johnson on evaluating not just performance, but also kind of a cost per unit analysis. And I'm happy to report we've got all of that together. So Jim, that'll be definitely a part of your agenda in January. So if that's something that piques your interest, performance and accountability, that may be the committee for you. Let me go ahead to the next slide. So just highlights of the activities over the past year. Obviously, you successfully completed 4 regular business meetings, 2 of those in person, 2 of those virtual, and had what I thought was a really successful board retreat at Reynolds Community College. At ILR, because now we're talking about September of last year. Since July 1 of 2024, between July 1, 2024 and June 30th, the board awarded more than $11.8 million to support 37 separate collaborative economic development projects across Virginia. The board also took action to create and then sustain a sub-program called the Helene Business Recovery Initiative. And that was created very shortly after the storm event that affected Southwest Virginia. And to date, you've supported about $500,000 worth of projects designed to support business recovery and business resiliency efforts in regions 1 and 2. There's been 6 committee meetings conducted. So special thanks to the leadership from each of those committees. Those committees are a fairly new item in the board's kind of governance infrastructure, and I think have proven to be really important places for more intimate discussions to happen. Of course, always public meetings, but a smaller format, and allow those to move forward to the Go Virginia State Board. We continue to cycle through the 16 JLARC study recommendations for program improvements. And this body has implemented a series of policy and programmatic changes in response. And just for folks that are interested, DHCD is asked annually to report back to that committee on the recommendations, which ones have been implemented, which ones have not. And so we look forward to providing a similar report for that committee at the end of this calendar year. And finally, there was a fair amount of work advising on the development of our program performance dashboard, which is a public-facing reporting tool, which allows anyone, board members, project leads, members of the public, to take a look at closed projects, and it compares the outcomes committed with the outcomes achieved. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. Next slide. In addition to the $11.8 million for those projects, I would like to remind folks that applicants brought to the table over $6 million in qualifying non-state investment. I think that actually undercounts the additional leverage that's applied in these projects, but it does meet the minimum requirement. Non-state match is an important part of the program because the vision here is it is a state regional collaborative cost share effort. And you see that in the application still that we're seeing today. Next slide. This is just an illustration of the portfolio. This is the FY25 portfolio by funding strategy. So you can see about 43% of the resource was in workforce development or talent development. 32% was in the funding priority cluster scale up. And for folks that aren't familiar with cluster scale up, that's really kind of manifest in 2 ways. It's either how do we help an existing industry cluster accelerate their growth, either through a pivot strategy or a scale strategy. But I think what's been most interesting for Go Virginia is cluster scale up as a way to accelerate the development of nascent or emerging industry clusters. So these are clusters that we've got a nugget of an idea We've got a small group of companies that are willing to pursue a market opportunity. And so 32% in that category is actually a market increase over my years here with Go Virginia as a percentage of the annual awards. 15% of the awards have been in the site development infrastructure, a little less than, about $1.8 million of the total awards. And finally, startup ecosystem, about 10% at $1.2 million. Next slide. I want to give you a snapshot of the awards by Go Virginia region, and the small inset chart shows you what percentage of their fiscal year 25 allocation was obligated to projects. So FY25 awards, and again, the inset chart just shows you that. Now, how could some regions exceed their annual allocation? Folks, remember that regions are able to carry over some funds. This is a non-reverting fund. So when you see numbers like 109 or 145, these are regions that had funds available to them, and or they were able to access the competitive fund to support one or more projects. But you can see high resource utilization with some small exceptions. My team and the support organization staff continue our deep commitment to project development to make sure these resources are fully utilized. Next slide. I'm not going to go through this next series because we're kind of short on time, but I do encourage you guys to take a look just to reflect upon the projects by Go Virginia region. Each of you are from a Go Virginia region. So if you've got specific questions or want to meet with someone to discuss those projects, their importance, their impact, please let me know. Just keep moving through that, Jack, if you don't mind. Okay, and I want to reflect as well on projects that close. So when I talk about FY25 closed projects, those are projects that are through their grant period. And this is the monitoring and final reporting process that we use. Each applicant is required to make a commitment to complete certain activities and deliver outcomes. That's defined in their grant agreement, and it's mirrors what you see in the board summary. The grants are monitored at the regional and the state level. So I'd really like to show my appreciation for the regional councils and their staff, because they are tier 1 monitoring on grant performance and also help us evaluate to make sure that the resources are deployed in a way that's consistent with the budget. So regional councils and then DHCD, we receive quarterly reports through our grants management system, and that's how we capture interim activities and results during the grant period. At the end, we've got a performance closeout, and a narrative is submitted by each project. And there's an attestation, which means a signed document that comes that said, yes, we did the thing and these are the results. And the regional council, the support organization, et cetera, submit that to us, and that we take that on record. And DHCD staff reviews it. Just to make sure that it's a comprehensive accounting of the activities that occurred during the grant period, and we're looking for differential or sometimes coding errors when the outcomes are finally input. We use our grant management system and tools like Tableau to evaluate project performance. And in fact, we have a legislative requirement to provide an annual report on results committed versus achieved. But I want to make sure the members of the board understand that our evaluation period is the grant performance period. And these projects are designed to live beyond the grant. That's why we have such a focus on sustainability. These are, as I mentioned, startup funds. And so these projects continue to produce results beyond the grant period. Next slide. This is a snapshot of the 38 projects that closed this year. And I didn't choose all of the performance metrics, but I chose the ones that might be most important to you. And you can see we've got some that have significantly overachieved, but I started with businesses created, jobs created, businesses served, capital raised by businesses served. I think we've really learned a lot about the state's entrepreneurial support organizations and their ability to help companies access capital. And so we see some incredible results there. You can see results related to individuals trained. Certainly, this program has supported the delivery and implementation of a number of new industry-aligned training programs, clearly exceeding the committed outcomes for these 38 projects. We have all of this data. It is available on the performance dashboard I mentioned, and we are always working on refining our ability to kind of understand these projects, their impact. To an earlier comment, we have analyzed all of the closed projects since the program's inception. We have developed a range. I don't want to call it a cost per output range, but we've looked at each of the funding priorities and have developed kind of a profile, if you will. And we would like to discuss that with Jim and his committee at their January meeting, because it was very insightful for me, and I think staff as well. Next slide. And then finally, just to wrap up, this is since program inception through June 30th. I want to remind folks this program continues to produce. These results were only achieved during the grant performance period, so I think they are significantly underreporting. That is in all of these areas, and the numbers are significant. The number of jobs created, businesses created, the amount of capital raised by businesses served by this initiative is extraordinary. Follow-on non-state funding. So this is once projects are awarded, supported through Go Virginia, they go on and it improves their ability to access other non-state resources. And in this case, a lot of federal resources have been able to come to the table. Not noted on this slide is regional collaboration, which is kind of a core tenet of Go Virginia. We continue to see increases in the number of funders participating in one or more Go Virginia projects. And again, that's on the dashboard as well for folks who are interested. Next slide. Now the information items, and I'm not even going to talk about them, Emily, so we can stay on track. DHCD has the ability to administratively approve projects up to $100,000 per project, and we've already spoke about the $250,000 cap. But we can also administratively approve projects that are submitted under the Helene Business Recovery Initiative. And so what you see in your packets are just board summaries for those projects which have been administratively approved. If anyone has questions about those projects or would like to learn more about how to get involved, please reach out to me and I'll make sure I connect you with the appropriate staff person or individual at a regional council.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. And I would open it up to board members if you have any questions about what was just presented there in terms of overview or any of those administratively approved projects. Okay, hearing none, I think that does it for today. We had a full meeting and I do appreciate your attendance and participation here. Thanks to everybody that joined. If I don't see you, Merry Christmas and happy holidays before we meet again, which will be in March of next year. That'll be in person in Richmond on March 24th, actually. So look forward to seeing you there. Yes, Nancy,
Madam Chair, it's
please.
Nancy, just a quick comment to thank you. Your first board meeting, we allowed you to do it virtually. That's a ton of work, and it's really hard to do these meetings virtually. So great job. Congratulations, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Very kind. I appreciate that. Yes, technology is incredible, but also presents some challenges. So it is a little bit difficult to manage and hear who's talking, but thank you for that, Nancy. Appreciate that. Okay. Well, again, thank you. We're right on time for adjournment, and we will stand adjourned. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a good holiday. Bye-bye.
Bye.